Today is Monday, 27th of February 2017. It's 10:54 Central European Time. In this video I won't hold this up all the time, but therefore this here. This video is about something particular, namely a nice example of the actual wee little effect that their diverse and constant and always reworked attempt at blocking and sabotaging my memory access has, both going into memory as well as being retrieved out of memory, and just generally multi-lane access to memory. I want to tell you something about this. What you see here is how in Vienna the tickets for the monthly tickets for public transportation look like. This is how they look in advance if you buy them printed in advance, and this if you buy them at the vending machine. This was for January 2017. This is, as you can see here, for February 2017. The validity of these always is from, as you can see here, from the 1st of that month, so from the 1st of January always to the 2nd of the following month. So on the January ticket it was 1st of January 2017 to 2nd of February 2017, and on the February ticket it is 1st of February 2017 to the 2nd of March 2017. Okay? It always is to the 2nd of the following month. So it's one complete month plus 2 more days of the following month, irregardless of whichever days of the week these be. I do want to point this out, right? It doesn't matter if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It doesn't matter. It's always this kind of validity on a monthly ticket. Why do I mention this? I get my unemployment money a week into a month. For instance, for March, or on March, I will receive my unemployment money on the 6th of March, which actually means that I have to buy a monthly ticket on the 6th of March, which includes 5 days that have already passed, for which I'm basically paying in vain, and a ticket that is only valid to the 2nd of April, even though my next money comes on the 5th, 6th, 7th of April. That means not just am I always coerced into paying a few days in vain, but at the end, or really the beginning of the following month, from the 3rd onward, 3rd, 4th, 5th, sometimes 6th even, I don't actually have a valid ticket, and I cannot afford a valid ticket. I mention this because I have an unemployment office related appointment on Friday this week, Friday 3rd of March, or actually it is this week now, Friday 3rd of March. So this Friday I have an appointment, and it is 3rd, which means that the ticket that I currently have, this one only goes to the 2nd, but my appointment is on the 3rd. I was asked when last I was there, which was actually on the 23rd of February, I last was there, and I was asked by that lady there when would I like my next appointment, and she offered me the 2nd or the 3rd of March as the date for the next appointment. I got to choose, when I was sitting there, the 2nd or the 3rd of March. The memory sabotaging routine and memory accessing routines succeeded to have me not accessible at that moment when I was asked, the fact that my ticket only lasted to the 2nd. And that is why, unfortunately, I chose the 3rd. Running the risk that when I get my ass there, this is all across Vienna, 20th district, when I get my ass there on Friday, I actually get my ass there without a valid ticket. And if they catch me riding, this is too far to walk there. I'd be walking like 2.5 hours each direction or something. Okay, this is too far even for me, who is very fond of walking, to go there other than by public transport. So if they catch me, I have to pay over 100 euros in fees, you know, as a penalty for going without a valid ticket. What I want to explain to you is that their memory accessing routines and memory access sabotaging routines succeeded to, in that moment that I was sitting there, actually prevented me from accessing the memory and knowledge that I have, oh, by the way, I have a ticket that is valid only to the 2nd, so I'd rather take the 2nd of March as an appointment date and not the 3rd of March because I don't have a ticket for that, and I'm running the risk of having to pay over 100 euros in penalty. That accessing was successfully blocked, so to speak. It was not accessible to me. That is it is bad enough that they actually catch me and I have to pay over 100 bucks in penalty, but what I mean to explain with this is that this is a nice example of the actual wee little degree to which their memory access sabotaging routines against me actually work. Because you fuckers out there are reported on and get this shit portrayed as if it were horrendously effective and efficient, as if completely and utterly all my memory were botched and so on and so forth, which it ain't. This wee little shit example is a successful, so to speak, a successful case of me not having had access to general knowledge of memory, and the fact that I know that my ticket always only goes to the 2nd, that I don't get the next ticket until the 5th or the 6th or the 7th, and that there's a few days in between where I don't have a ticket, and that ideally, especially if given a choice, I would not choose a date in between there, but on that 2nd of March where I still had a valid ticket. That was the actual effect for a change where their memory messing actually worked. Okay? This is the wee little shit degree to which, after years of fine-tuning and working and trying all different approaches, they actually sabotage my memory. This. In that moment of being asked, and generally, they try to work my phases into feeling very unpleasant while I'm there, and so on and so forth, and distract me from all kinds of other things, and that might have played into it, actually, just for completeness sake, at these appointments. But that is actually how these routines express themselves and how they manifest themselves. Okay? Not, oh, he cannot remember, oh, we deleted his memory, oh, we forged his memory, and all the shit that you are being told. I know there was this Star Trek Enterprise episode where they actually had this, what was it called? There was one episode where allegedly some alien bacteria prevented the forming of new long-time memory or something like that. It just has the German titles of the episodes here. I'm trying to recall the English episode title of that. Something about something like autumn or something withering and waning. Let's see, I'm just going to look this up. Which is complete bullshit. That's not how it works. And especially not omnipotent and as they typically portray these routines. Twilight, that's the episode. Twilight, which is season 3, episode 8 of Star Trek Enterprise. Okay, just one of the many lies and myths that they try to create about what allegedly the fuckers can do regarding a human's memory and so on and so forth. This here, the fact that in that moment when I was being asked, do I want an appointment on the 2nd or on the 3rd of March, I was unable to have the information present to me out of my memory that my ticket just is valid till the 2nd, and that thus I accidentally chose the 3rd because it was the end of the week, plus it was 1,300 hours, which is more down the sleeping patterns that they correspond to me than the one on the second that she offered me, which was I think 10:30 or something. So that's why I chose the third rather than the second. This is the most extreme form to which their memory messing actually so far worked. That in that moment, in that talk with the lady from that, it's actually, it's not the unemployment office work proper, it's called It Works, which is some kind of funny other company that works in association with the unemployment office. That lady at It Works, she offered me 2 different appointments, and I chose that on the 3rd of March rather than the 2nd of March, which I shouldn't have done. That is an example of how the memory sabotaging actually successfully worked for a change. Okay, and I want to point out that this is very in the periphery of things, and that this is actually was also augmented by them working on mental routines that I and my phases hate these appointments when really to me they mean nothing. You know, I mean, they're completely pointless appointments, but so be it. But then my phases feel ill at ease and or in fear of the lady of the unemployment office or whatever crap they try to work there. It doesn't work at all. It fizzles all the time, but the fizzling alone is distracting. This actually is an example of where I say, yes, here the memory sabotaging succeeded to have me, as would otherwise be normal, completely present the knowledge that in my wallet is a ticket valid only to the 2nd of March rather than to later, and thus if I chose an appointment on the 3rd of March, I don't have a valid ticket because this one will have expired by then, and I don't get my next money until Monday following week, which is the 6th of March, and in between these few days, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, I don't have a ticket and run the risk of paying over 100 euros fee and penalty, and that is why I wouldn't have otherwise chosen the 3rd, but I did choose the 3rd, okay? And it's not that they made me choose the 3rd. I want to point out, this was the result of me not realizing that I don't have a ticket for the 3rd, and the Friday 1300 appointment seeming more pleasant to me than the Thursday 10:30 appointment, and that is what I wanted to explain in this video. Okay? Namely, I know you don't care about my monthly tickets and whatever fees I'd have to pay and whatnot. What I'm trying to explain to you is how badly you are being lied to when you believe into what all allegedly they can successfully work when it comes to sabotaging a person's memory. That is what this video is about. This wee little shit, after ages of having a way at all things pertaining to how I access my memory, is the most successful thing from their point of view that so far happened. And it was, you know, it's not even anything they deliberately went for. This was a side effect of my memory being not completely and utterly accessible. This. And talking on that, it doesn't really have much to do with memory as such. Why do they keep sabotaging my English? That is a very simple reason. Namely, the main reason is simply that the vast majority of the literary routines they work against me are German language literary routines that could very easily be avoided, so to speak, if my English were allowed to me, because in English the very same translation would not at all be as literally idiocy suitable as it is in German. For instance, to give you an example, the German word leichtgläubig. The German word leichtgläubig means gullible in English. There is tons of literally idiocy that you can work on the German word leichtgläubig. Bist du leichtgläubig, Phase? Nein, ich bin nicht gläubig. Ah, würdest du sagen, du bist nicht mal irgendwie leichtgläubig? Ja, ich würde sagen, ich bin nicht mal irgendwie leichtgläubig. Würdest du sagen, du bist das Gegenteil von leichtgläubig? Ja. Ah, das Gegenteil von leicht ist schwer. Das heißt, du bist also schwergläubig. Das bedeutet, dass du allem nicht glaubst, weil du bist ja schwergläubig. Ja? Du glaubst nicht alles leicht, sondern du glaubst alles schwer. And in addition to that, you can rework the stress of the word. Instead of schwergläubig, be schwergläubig. And all of a sudden, they try to work that I were heavily faithful, even though I'm an atheist. Okay? And the thing is, with the English translations, were they available to me? Would they not so severely block my access to my full English? I could just prevent all of their funny German literary routines worked in my head. But in order for them to at all work to whichever little degree, they have to block my English. That is the main reason. Secondary reasons are discrediting of myself, because here I am stammering like an idiot in English when I have really appropriate English. Okay? I have very appropriate English. I have an extensive vocabulary. My vocabulary is significantly more extensive, even though it is, for all practical purposes, still a foreign tongue to me, than that of a whole lot of native speakers' English vocabulary would be. I have read in English since ground school days. I have a lot of English here in my head, English language related, but they block all of that in order to have the German literary idiocy routines work. That is the first and foremost and really practically sole reason why they do that. And only in the periphery am I making myself look like an idiot here because of how I sound in English. That is another thing I wanted to mention. It doesn't really have to do accessing memory and all the shenanigans and mechanics and trickeries that they work with memory, into memory, out of memory, and so on and so forth. But this is another little thing that I wanted to explain for the longest time, and I figure it's sort of kind of this kind of topic, so I cover it in here. That was the video for today. Oh, and fuck you.